share this video with a friend.
Look at this article. Drinking and walking is the new crime. I shot this video just out on the streets of Austin. They now have the signs saying, don't drink and walk. But it's all downtown culture now, all those high-rises. How do you go eat dinner and then walk home having a few drinks? And now I've learned they're actually not arresting guys that are stumbling around. They're now doing breathalyzers of just couples walking down the street. So I can't even go rent a room with my wife for the weekend, leave my my kids with my parents, go see a movie, go have a few drinks. I can't even do that now.
That's insane.
Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have.
They have flashing billboards saying, "Don't drink and walk, we will arrest you." And I asked a cop about it. Yeah, there it is. It says, drink, walk, don't drink, then walk, bike or drive. And I asked Austin cops, and they go, yeah, we're told now to look for people that look drunk when they're walking.
Well, there's two ways to read that. Don't drink and walk, bike or drive instead.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. So you just saw the sign. What do you make of that?
Well, it's just more of the controlling of our behavior. And what happens to you on 6th Street? Ask any of the college kids if you try to argue with a police officer.
They instantly say public intoxication, put you in handcuffs.
And jack you up. And you know, when I was a police officer, I didn't shoot anybody. I could have shot a lot of people. I didn't beat a lot of people. I had to beat some. But because you can talk your way into reason with people. Talking, drunk people into submitting and going peaceably. Spend 30 more seconds, 3 more minutes with somebody instead of collar snatching and pimp slapping them. If we treated people like the police sometimes treat us, we would be placed under arrest and charged with a crime. And that needs to stop.
What do you make of all the Austin police suddenly that are just shooting people everywhere, or they pull somebody over and start shooting? It's that instinctive training thing? Because, I mean, it's crazy.
It's who they're hiring. And my family was a police family, and my brother just retired recently as a sergeant with APD. I understand the dangers of being a police officer. I've been in the fight. But they're hiring a lot of people who, number one, shouldn't be police officers.
Well, just say it, they're hiring wimps. And wimps are going to be scared, and they're going to kill people.
Or little bullies who, this is their chance to get back at somebody. And they should never be hired as police officers. The one good thing that Austin has is the videotaping program. And so that, at least there's a videotape. In so many of our other cities, the videotapes are turned off.
What do you think of Aceveda? Because he does some good things, but some bad things.
Well, I hate the fact that they videotape us. No, I don't like that. I do want to be protected when a police officer pulls me over, though. And a police officer ought to believe if I'm being videotaped, then you can't make up an allegation against me, number one. Number two, if I have to do something, that involves deadly force, I'm supported by a videotape to prove that. But the idea that the government snoops on us like they do just blows me away. I read the lyrics to Gimme Shelter on the way here by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, great song.
I like the Grand Funk Railroad's version. But, we are just, it goes back to what you were talking about earlier. We are one gunshot away from war in this world at all times. In our community, we shouldn't be one gunshot away from death by our public servants. They tase people. Look how many dogs they've killed around here. I don't know about you. My dog's like a little family member.
I've seen some of the videos, too, where the dog is wagging its tail.
Well,
I mean, if you don't know, the dog's wagging its tail, like they shoot labs and stuff.
Well, they taught us when you approach a fenced-in yard and there's a bad dog, stop. Don't go in there and then shoot the dog. I don't understand this. Something's got to be done to...
Yeah, where is... But it's like they've got something to prove. Like Missouri State Police, people had impeach Obama signs out, a national campaign. And the cops all show up, like 12 of them, and they're bowed up and run up and start choking people. I mean, that's like, that's like classic bad guys.
They're taught that command, take control, intimidate, and it shuts down what? Your average everyday citizen? Obama to me is nothing but a carpetbagger. He's ruining our country. And the police are becoming the revenuers.
Yeah.
It's like we're going back to the 20s and 30s. And most people that want to be police officers, when I came into the field, wanted to help, wanted to serve, wanted to protect. And I'm starting to question that nowadays. It's troublesome.
I want to come back and get to all the other points. You got a bunch of files there, things you want to talk about. Jamie Balagia is our guest. He's a great guy. I want to get you in there every few months, man. You're awesome.
I'd love it.
Maybe sometimes you can come in and co-host or something, or do the whole show one day. The book's available at Infowars.com. It's written for Texas, but it's applicable in many ways around the country. Good, common sense, constitutional info. I tell you, Jamie Balagia is a great guy, especially in person. And I'm serious, down the road, I know you're very busy in court and stuff, we ought to look for a slot for you to come in, and if you want to host the whole 3 hours, that comes out to about 2 hours and 15 minutes of airtime, and you could really come in and go through everything, not be interrupted by me.
You know, one thing I always forget to tell people is I am pro local law enforcement. I love the police officers. I hate what they're being forced to do.
Tell me about your partner. He got shot, stabbed, everything.
Steve Montague's
your investigators here?
Hero. Yes, he's doing investigations here in the Austin area for us. Montague, his whole family is law enforcement. They're true American patriots. And I can tell you this, we have discussions. He's sickened by what he and I both see the local law enforcement officers having to do. And I believe it's a dictate from above. It's the federal government that's controlling.
Oh, yeah, it's all that money.
Right, exactly. And also, you know, who's going to come and knock on our doors when it's time to come drag us out? It's not going to be the National, well, maybe the National Guard.
There'll be cops with them.
They're our neighbors, too. It's going to be the local cops, yeah. Obama and Holder and those ruffians, they're not going to come to our doors. They don't have the balls.
Well, we know in the FEMA training, they're going to use local police as, you know, like almost like they're Indian guides, you know, the old West Wars. So the local cops will lead them as the guide.
And then it's going to fall back on the old, well, when they came for you, I didn't speak out because I wasn't like you. But what's going to happen when they come for you? You know, we have to stop.
Well, talk about police. They're already have looted the pensions. They're funding them on IOUs and leverage money, but they're going to end up taking everything. I mean, that's the thing about tyranny. It destroys everything.
This country is in such a state of near shambles right now, and people don't recognize it. It's you know, you look at how votes are being paid for and bought right now. It's sickening.
Well, what's some of the other points you wanted to get at? Because I keep directing the conversation.
That's great. You know, one of the things I wanted to talk about was this deal about mug shots. And you got arrested. Now, what if you got arrested and you're not guilty? What if you got arrested and they can't make your case? What if you got arrested by mistake? Well, there are these groups out here now, and they put your picture in this flimsy little rag.
And sell them.
And sell it, and they put it on the internet. And you know, once that stuff's on the internet, it's always there. No, I understood that this is somebody trying to make a buck. I didn't like it because I think until you're found guilty, you shouldn't be branded a criminal. But now I find out that if you contact these companies, because, hey, I don't want my picture in the news. I may not get hired.
It's a shakedown.
My job, yeah. Well, pay us some money, and we'll take your picture off of our website. It'll take about 10 days, unless you want to pay even more money. Then we can take your picture down quicker. And,
of course, they're not telling you that within a couple days it's going to go on the digital Google archives and they can never get rid of it. That's also an angle for your action. I know is the angle that they're telling you we'll take it down. It's already out. It's already out there. And just the fact that they're strong-arming you to take it down. There's a Facebook page that just came up called Blackmailed by Busted. Blackmailed, because that's what you're being blackmailed by Busted. And that's busted.com, busted mugshots, whatever you want to call. There's a number of companies now that do it, and they do it all over the country. We're going to try to find some people who have been abused, who've lost their jobs. I wonder how many people have killed themselves across our country. Folks that have been damaged need to call you. Well, I want them to go to that Blackmailed by Busted on Facebook, because we want to get an idea of, you know, we want to make sure this is the problem we think it is. And if it is, I'm going to contact lawyers all over the country. We're going to file some class action lawsuits. We're going to do our best to shut this down. This isn't freedom of press here. This is freedom to extort money from good American citizens who've not been convicted of a crime. It's making money off the police state. That's right. And you know what? I know you've tried to get information from the police before, and they stonewall us. Yeah. Yet they give these mug shots away like the 5 and dime store. So this guy, or these various businesses. Absolutely. We'll be right back. Well, folks, it's our final segment with Jamie Balagia, and I hope you get his book, Texas DWI Survival Guide. I've read it. It's excellent. It's the first edition. And it's a great way to just think about your basic rights and think about how the machine works. And if you've got family members out there, they need to read this as well. Not just for the, for alcohol. Now they're trying to say we're going to take swabs of your tissue from your cheek. That's easier than blood. And if we find, as you said, the metabolite of drugs, the metabolite, well, they can pull your hair out and find stuff back 20 years or whatever. I mean, this is insane.
I spent a ton of money. I went up to Chicago to a solid drug gas chromatograph course. And I spent a week up there with the top scientist on drug analysis in the nation. And when I left that class, what little faith I had in drug testing and substance testing went completely out the window. There are so many substances that can mask a marijuana or a cocaine or a heroin.
It's over 200 with methamphetamine, right?
Yes.
False positive. What about all the kids being taken where mom's going to have their baby and they go methamphetamine because the woman took Claritin, and they don't care. They take your kid.
Right now, some people are being charged with possession, simple possession of marijuana. CPS is starting a case and threatening to take your children away because you smoke marijuana.
What about the girl got her brains bashed out there because the dad smoked pot in Williamson County? The little Alexandria Hill.
Horrible, horrible. That's another part of the big government's going to run your family. You know, one thing that gives me a great sense of hope for the future, which sometimes is hard to grasp hold of, outside of my religion, because I believe the Lord is going to come, and he's going to come hard one day. But Wade and Ethan Olson, I want to do a shout out to them. They listen to your show. They love you. They're one's in high school, one's in college. They're young guys who are interested in rights to bear arms, the ability to say no to a police officer when he's overstepping his bounds. But they've taken that extra step of getting the knowledge. You know, if you're not going to read my book, some of these videos you have, they're just
American Drug War too. Yeah,
no, the American Drug War nauseates me. And I was an undercover, vice officer, did narcotics investigations, got caught up in it myself, and had to go to rehab. But there were people that wanted me in a federal prison. And one day I was telling a judge during a sentencing, because the prosecutors were arguing to send a kid to prison. I said, Judge, they wanted to send me to prison, but instead, got through the rehab, have a family, wonderful, beautiful kids that are doing great, both on scholarship in college, a beautiful wife, a great business I employ.
Yeah, we want to help people, not wreck their lives.
Well, we do, but what's going on with our government? What are they actually doing nowadays? It's confusing, and none of the answers I seem to get make sense. I used to sit on the outside and go, what are these conspiracy buffs talking about? Then I started actually listening and doing my own research, and then I stepped off the out of bounds and kind of stepped in bounds. And people who discount what is being said on your program are fools. And if they don't, people that have a lot of experience in life and in jobs and in professions and retired law enforcement people, what is this retirement garbage? Get off your butt and contribute and speak out and protest and make some noise and say enough is enough. Where are my tax dollars going? What are you doing with these public servants that are supposed to be working for me, and now they're harassing me?
And I think that's starting to happen because people now get things are deteriorating fast now. It's taken decades to get here, but now the end's going to run out real fast. We're in deep trouble if good men do nothing. As many of the founders said, all that evil men and tyrants need to flourish is that good men do nothing. Jamie Balagia, the book available at InfoWarsStore.com. Fire out your website one more time.
Both DWIDude.com and 420dude.com for those of the 420 persuasion.
Absolutely. Wow. Look forward to having you back in studio soon. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Thank you.
What you need to know is that what is happening in Syria is an enormous problem for the United States. Al-Assad may be a poor leader, but at least he allowed the people in Syria, regardless of their religious beliefs, to live at peace. Al-Qaeda in Iraq has publicly stated that their goal is to create an Al-Qaeda superstate comprised of Iraq and Syria. By funding these so-called rebels, the U.S. government is handing Al-Qaeda the keys to that superstate. By the United States supporting the overthrow of Assad, without question, we will hand Syria over to Al-Qaeda, make no mistake. And the slaughter of millions of Syrians, including Syrian Christians, Jews, Alawites, and Muslims, will be on our hands.